Hello and welcome to this Project in a Box video. I'm Malcolm West and I've been a frequent home worker over the last 15 years in a number of houses in a number of different countries, in fact. And with the sudden likelihood of lots of people who aren't familiar with it working from home, we thought we'd provide some videos to give people a bit of a guide through what's involved and some of the pitfalls. So this is session 2 about working environment. Key messages: don't panic. So guide part 1 was about tools, and the link to that is below in the comments of this video. 2 is working environment, and in the next one we're going to be talking about keeping focus. So working environment, we're going to look at what not to do, which room to work in, and the arrangements you should have in and around your desk. So what not to do? Well, the picture says a lot of it really. Don't treat it as a holiday. You will need to get some work done, and you'll need to be as productive as you possibly can. In many ways you could in fact be more productive than being in the office. Don't be casual about it. You need to plan your times of day, and you need to organise yourself so that you can be efficient and stay fit and healthy. Do not expect it to be easy. There'll be many challenges, both in terms of the work you have to do and the way you have to work, and also the mental challenges of a different environment. And don't try and work from anywhere. The rest of this video is going to be talking about trying to get the best working environment that you can. It won't always be easy, and it won't be ideal, but you can make it really quite good, and so you should focus on doing that at the beginning. Don't just dive into working from the bed or sat on the sofa or something like that. Focus on getting it right from the beginning, because you might be doing it for a month, you might be doing it for a couple of months. So, which room to work in? Well, this is a major dilemma, and in fact you might change this as you go through the period. If you've got a spare room or a study somewhere that you can set up nicely, or in fact it might already be set up, in which case you can jump onto the next video. You don't need to talk about this anymore. But if you do have a spare room that you can set up, then that's the best thing to do if possible. You won't have to disturb it. You can just come in and be working straight away, and you don't have to tidy things away at the end of the day, and all those good advantages. Otherwise, most people will probably work at the kitchen or dining table. It's going to be a table, it's going to have chairs, it's going to have a reasonably good working environment. It's often in a warmer part of the house, it's often quite light. Those are all good things. Distractions, though, are often high. A lot of people coming in and out, perhaps kids coming in and out, difficult to perhaps work on beyond the sort of school arrival home time. So that's not always the ideal. Another option is to work in the living room, which can often be a bit quieter, but it often doesn't have the right sort of table. Trying to sit at a sofa or working that down at a coffee table, it might be okay for the first couple of hours, but once you've done it for any period, you're looking at back pains, and it's really uncomfortable. You won't be able to concentrate properly. So that's not ideal, unless of course you can move a table into that space. It might be possible to move a child's work table, for example, which sounds a bit silly, but a child's desk can work quite well, and then a dining room chair perhaps sat in the corner of the living room. Something like that would be pretty good. You might have to work in your bedroom, and in which case, again, sitting on the bed trying to work with a laptop perched on a bedside table really isn't going to work very well. What you probably will need to do is, again, bring some sort of something in there, like a separate desk or a dining room table into the bedroom, and work at that instead. Compromise, not may, but will be required. It's very unlikely you can get something ideal unless you've already got a study set up at home. So don't expect to be perfect, but don't give in to just sitting on the sofa or on the bed. Do put a bit of effort into sorting something out. There will be something that you can do. So let's talk about the desk arrangements then, because this is very important. Like I say, just imagine sitting on a sofa working leant over on a coffee table. It's not going to work very well at all. So the first thing, of course, is we're going to need connectivity. We talked in session 1 about communications, about internet access. If you're working in a back bedroom and it doesn't have very good Wi-Fi capability, or the phone reception is poor, then you might want to put in a booster and boost your Wi-Fi so that you can get good connectivity in that room. Desk and chair arrangements are absolutely essential. The first thing will be a desk to work at, and then getting a chair that's the appropriate height for that. So back problems, lots of people suffer from back problems. It doesn't take much to aggravate them. Even if you've not had a problem before, long periods of uncomfortable seating are definitely going to give you a problem. So it's about getting a table which is at the right sort of height that you can type at comfortably, and that means a chair that matches that. So the desk has to be reasonably high to start off with. A coffee table's a definite no-no, even if it's some old shelving boards sat on some bricks or something to raise it up a bit. You need to be able to get your knees underneath it properly, and a chair. And again, if you're working at a sort of high countertop in the kitchen and you don't have an appropriate chair height, you may need to put something underneath the legs of the chair to get you to that proper working height. If the table's too high away from you, you won't be able to type properly, and again, you'll get a bad back. So too much leaning down or leaning up is going to be a problem. Preferably the desk needs to be with a good light on it, but not too much light. Sat with the window behind you, especially if it's a south-facing window, means you'll get light on the screen. It's difficult to see. So ideally face towards the window, then you're less likely to get light on your screen. And also appropriate heating. Many of us won't heat our houses normally during the day while we're out, and you don't want to have to heat the whole house just so you don't get cold. So if you've got some sort of portable heater, that's a really good idea, and just heat your local space, not the entire house. And space is very important. You want to be able to lay out your work. It won't just be a laptop and a mobile phone. You're bound to have some sort of paper, keep some notes. You might have brought some files home from work. There might be other particular things related to the type of work you do that you have to have around. And it's good to be able to spread them out, and you don't necessarily want to have to keep putting them away and bringing them out every day. So if you do have some space to do that, that would be great, and especially if you're setting up that sort of personalised workspace in the bedroom or in the living room, you should be able to do that. You also want to keep, obviously, distractions down to the minimum. So like I say, if you're in a quieter space, if you're used to working in a quieter space, that's definitely the thing you want. Preferably don't have radio on in the background unless you're very used to working with a radio on in the background. It will distract you. And if you have pets at home, a good idea is to put them in a different room. They will be distracting. Cats like to sit on laptops when they're warm. Dogs like to distract you because it's unusual for them when you're home. So definitely try and keep those things down to the minimum. It doesn't. We'll talk in the next session about the fact that that doesn't mean you should do none of that, because you have to have a sensible balance between working and relaxing, like you do at work. But you need to manage that, I guess, is the key point. Okay, so the third part we're going to move on to is keeping focus. Don't panic. You've got your communication sorted out, you've got your workspace sorted out, and you'll be working comfortably at this point, and then it's about keeping yourself working comfortably in the longer run. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much.